The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. As always, we'd like to come to you at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
Well, it is as a bomb went off. In fact, let me get a few things up here. It was a very interesting day yesterday, and I had a chart for that, which we will get to as soon as possible. Is that there? Yeah, that's there. Okay, just make sure I got everything set up correctly here, and we'll get into that. But it kind of was very tough to see what they were doing. But the first line in my newsletter this morning was basically that no one has a clue on Wall Street where the market's headed. This is before, I think, what did we open up, like 7-8 points down on the S&P cash. We drifted a little lower. Around noon, it looked like there was a concerted effort. Many people are pointing the finger at Goldman Sachs pumping some fairly large rumors about the fate of our president and some other issues. And at that point, the question, or a lot of people are speculating that I talked to just after about 12:30, that Goldman Sachs was exceedingly short and was out pumping a very negative view of the world to try to see if they can't get out of those shorts before the volume all falls out of the market going into December. So the question is, can anybody point to anything specific out here, or is it just very thin markets? And if you want to, you can go out and at least for a day or two destroy a market or run it higher, as we have in the last few days. So we're off 71 on the S&P cash. Dow's off 666, mark of the devil. NASDAQ's 217 off, and the Russell's off 53. So I had a couple of people asking me what I'm doing. Well, they can certainly get the newsletter. I have one long position in the daily. I've got two long positions in the Tech Insider as a longer term. Both of them are doing fine. If the movement happened out here today, wouldn't have been any different than last week. I don't have any index positions. And as I told a lot of people, I was, for the last 2 months, I was expecting the individual stocks to way outperform the ETFs, unless you're trading them in and out every day, or the indexes. But you know what? I'm in a stock that's actually up today in the short term. So it's got a lot of short sellers in it. So I'm probably thinking these guys are about ready to scream. But I don't and haven't been in these index positions. What I did want to show fairly soon in the show today, though, was this options curve. And this is one of the options curves that in my webinar I've talked about for a long time. So I want to go ahead and show it here in the den. Hopefully I'm up in the den. We saw a big move to the upside, of course, through Friday and Monday. Then we had them stomp the living daylights of the upside in this market. Normally you have a nice little V, or maybe even kind of a goblet-looking curve on both the puts and the calls. What we've done is basically gone flat all the way in the SPYs from about 210, and let's call it 205, to all the way to about 290. Talk about a real range in this market. The option market makers want no part of, what are we going to call it, 150, now 250 points higher, 200 points higher, or 500 points lower in the S&P, the actual, not the SPY. And this is, I think, since I've been doing this since 2004, this may be the absolute widest that option market makers. Now, we talked about how they have lost some fairly large money from September and October and into November. It was a little better, but still not a great month for them. These guys have stood back as far as they can. In fact, I think they're ready to back over a cliff like a bunch of lemmings. There is no risk to be had. Like I said, you really don't even see the dollar amount in the SPYs move higher until you get to what's that, 295 on the SPYs. That's where they think it's not going to go any higher, and they think that, you know what, we don't want any downside risk either. It can go to all the way to 210 or 205, and you know, for the most part, maybe it's $30-40 million difference. But there is no appetite. I like appetite for destruction. Guns N' Roses. What was that year? Maybe somebody at the den said. But this is a big event in that nobody thinks that they have an edge going forward between now and December 21st. Not exactly sure why. Like I said, Goldman Sachs from last night and even bigger today has been, at least from what I've talked to people, been the root of some fairly large claims, kind of the equivalent of yelling fire in a crowded theater. I don't know if any of those are true. My guess is that they have no better idea than anybody else. But certainly, kind of rotating around the special counsel issues, and I wrote about that this morning. But they went a little bit farther today, apparently around at noon, and maybe it was enough to in a thin market, get everybody to run for the fire doors of the theater. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on this. This may be one of the better buying opportunities between now and the end of the year. I didn't think that there was any chance of us really going much lower. I'm looking at a couple of positions right now. May add one before the end of the day. In fact, I probably should have added it a little earlier. We'll see how the day comes out. But either way, I don't think it'll be a bad entry today. So for me, I'm looking at it as a gift. A gift. You don't get many gifts in the market. I think maybe today is a gift. We'll be back in a minute.
The TAS Profile Scanner is the most revolutionary piece of trading software that you will ever try. Wouldn't you like to approach the markets with confidence? As you begin your trading day, it's likely that you'll be faced with lots of decisions. In order to make the best decision, the first thing you'll need is a strategy that will help you minimize your risks. Whether we're in a bull or bear market, a good strategy is to have the tools needed to help you scan and analyze the markets before you trade. The TAS Profile Scanner instantly scans and filters over 2,500 global financial markets, such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, president of TAS Market Profile, the TAS Profile Scanner understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications, automated trading algorithms, and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. Whether you're looking at the trade matrix, the ETF heat grid, the market breadth, the landscape charts, or the many other features of the TAS Profile Scanner, this is a piece of software that will revolutionize how you look at the markets and set up your trades. The team at TAS has even put together a 12-part video series to walk you through every aspect of the TAS Profile Scanner, which you can find directly on the TAS order page at TFNN.com. Sign up now for only $97 a month with a risk-free 30-day trial, so you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. See for yourself how you can harness the full power of the TAS Profile Scanner by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services section. Remember, with a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Don't let another day pass you by without trying out this amazing piece of software that will revolutionize how you look at the market and how you place trades. Sign up today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live, and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And we'll look at a few stocks out here that were at support and seeing what's happening. Anyway. YRC Worldwide, which I think is a Russian stock, looks like it's cracked through its previous low. It's down to 517 so far today. YText, which I think is another one in that vein. This one's basically just holding flat. Let me go ahead and bring the profile up, because I think it's rather similar. Provides knowledge engine platform, lets businesses manage their digital knowledge in the cloud. The company offers YText Knowledge Engine, a cloud-based global platform that enables business control and manage their digital knowledge. Well, not much action in this one. In fact, not much volume at all. You'd need a close back in 1528 to say that's okay. Now, if you were looking at a potential short position in Yelp or a lot of these other ones that got blown apart, you certainly wanted to come back and fill these gaps. As far as Yelp so far today, you were up on 2.8 million shares. You're down on about 800,000 shares so far. So again, I'm starting to look at, we'll see what the end of the day comes in and looks like, but I'm starting to see this kind of pattern, which is certainly a lot of stocks are down today. Some of the bigger ones are down, but most of the volume, again, as we found out when the market started to head higher, was in these ETFs where everybody's selling and shorting as fast and hard as they can. But a lot of these individual stocks are not finding, I'd say probably more than half aren't finding any kind of volume at all. We're doing about 5.1 billion shares compared to the 8.9 billion shares that we did yesterday. So we may even come in with a lighter volume than we had yesterday. And again, this may just be continued market indigestion in this. But again, I'm not having to sit through 80 or 75 point swings in the S&P cash. We're off 66 in the S&P. Dow's off 637. NASDAQ's off 199. The Russell's down 52. What else do we have? Yeah, got our first email in of the day, and the question is liquidity from Nanex still showing fairly low levels of futures backing in the markets? And the answer is yes. It has never come back. You know, it came back after the route that we had in February, but it never came back to the position it was in. And I think a lot of people have just decided that no, we're not going to get anywhere close to a market until it shows a fairly large discount, and then we'll be buyers again. I mean, we had a fairly nice pop from that low that came in at about 2,700 on the S&P cash. Back to Yelp, you know, 812,000 shares on the downside compared to 2.8 on the upside. Just kind of gives you an idea that maybe you get a opportunity to buy this if it continues to come back on light volume, but I don't see anything quite yet. X-ray, Yellow Freight. Oh, WRCW is Yellow Freight. I have to go back and look at that again. Huh. That's breaking through. So on Yellow Freight, we're down on 1.1 million shares compared to the big volume day. It was down on 4.45 billion shares back on the 1st of November. So, you know, if these things do pull back in, you need about, I'm going to say about 582 or higher lets that thing come out. Okay. XHR, Xena Hotels. I don't see much in that one. WRK, this is West Rock. Now, this one actually was one of the few stocks that actually set up as a short position. But again, you had 2 million shares yesterday. You got about 1.5 million shares. A lot of these that did come down and have high volume lows probably need to get them tested. But as I've said before, what you want is about half of that gap to get tested, or the first gap down. That was on the 9th of October. Came down with 6 million shares, got into it with 2 million shares on November 7th. You got into it yesterday with 2 million shares, and you're starting to pull back. So this one could go back to 44.32. Ideally, if you want to go long this thing, you need to test to 39.21. Okay. Now, West Rock sets paper and packaging solutions for the consumer and corrugated markets. This is a lot like International Paper, and these will tell you a lot about what's going on actually in the industrial part of the market. Now, International Paper is down a bit, but I don't think you can make anything out of this other than maybe just a pullback to support, which it pretty much got to today. But this thing's been around this price since the beginning of November, just going sideways. So you had a pop yesterday, you got a kind of a little bit of a reversal today, but nothing that exciting in International Paper. So if you're looking for something big and a big signal, I don't see that yet. WLTW, Willis Group Holdings. I don't see anything in that. Some of the worst hit, of course, are the NASDAQ stocks. One I haven't liked very much has been Western Digital. We've talked about this for about 2 or 3 years, where you could see what was going to happen, and that is that spinning hard drives are going away and solid state drives are replacing them. There hasn't been a really good story that I've heard yet that says Western Digital will have a price advantage on anybody else. There was a gentleman I dealt with a great deal on video editing back in the 90s. This guy was kind of a god. He was a god because he knew how video tape decks, the ballistics, actually worked. And he'd figured them all out. He had some knowledge. And of course, as soon as everybody started going to hard drives, he didn't make a lot more money. But for a while, he was the guy that knew all the black arts, knew all the spells to throw on video editing equipment to make them work perfectly. You know, there's a lot of machinery and the tape stretches and a lot of other issues, mechanical issues that just go away with digital video. But that's kind of these guys. These guys have all the ballistics down. They understand how the temperature changes on the hard drive and where they need to move and park the read-write heads, because how much the disk either grows or expands. We dealt a lot with people, both Western Digital and IBM, for the products that we had. A real art. The problem is, generally, those huge problems, eventually someone will come up with a solution and they go away. We'll talk a little bit more about this, and we got a lot of time today. Be back in a minute.
The Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary power law vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of The Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we'll keep it close. 2717 and 3/4 on the S&P cash, which is down 71.5 points. Dow's off 684. Nasdaq's down 217. Russell 2000 stopped 48. We'll keep a close eye on that and the associated volume and the dollar. Not much discussion about that, but the dollar was down to about 96.30 at 6 a.m. this morning, and now got as high as 97. So you had a pretty nice run. It's off a little bit now. We're ticking around, what is this, 96.77. I'll just update it. No, 96.82. 96.88. Okay. I think a few of these, maybe the tape is running behind a little bit on some of these. So do we have anything else we want to look at? Quick question to come in here and look at the IBB, so we'll do that. This thing's been one of the stronger ETFs off the bottom. That 100 level has been fairly decent support. You've had about 5 tests of it. The energy is about the same on the way up as on the way down. You tested the previous high of 111.50 by 111.60 yesterday on just about the exact same volume. Today we're down on 943,000 shares compared to the 2.2 million shares on the way up. So yeah, like I said, I'm seeing a lot of push on some of these bigger ETFs, like the ones around the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, that are basically throwing the whole baby out with the bathwater. But generally, that's the best time to go in and find individual stocks. But we'll see. Now, a question about MU and whether or not that's a buy on this pullback. You got, again, a lot of these stocks in just wide trading ranges. About the same volume on the way up as on the way down, about the same volume. Now, on this one, you had slightly more volume, about 4 million shares more on November 20th as it tested the October 29th low. And one of the reasons I didn't get into this was that higher volume. I was hoping for a light volume test of that 34, just under that $34 area. Didn't get it. Now, today you're down with 25 million shares. You want to see how that comes in. But the SMHs continue to look the weakest. A lot of disparaging remarks about Apple from many people on the big men of Wall Street. When you saw this, though, at least in the SMHs, it was fairly clear. You had a high with 11.6 million shares on November 1st. That was 98.13. You went to 99.13, a buck above it yesterday. You did so with 7.2 million shares. So you were, what, 4 million shares light, 4.5 million shares light. No big surprise out there. You got 5 million shares already compared to the 7 million shares already yesterday. Does it have to come back and retest this low? The answer is no. On the positive side, and probably a side that says that maybe there's a trading range that goes between now and the end of the year, is this October 29th low that had 11 million shares that could only get 8.6 million shares on November 20th. You would have liked it to go all the way to 86.95. But for the strength of it, you probably find support somewhere around this 93 level. I think the answer is yes. Of course, we'll be closed tomorrow at TFNN, and of course the market is closed too. So you got a little extra time. Why don't you think about signing up for Basil's webinar tonight? You still have plenty of time. He'll be doing it between 5 and 6 tonight, and you can give you a whole day to think about what he has to say. So give him a check out on that. What else do we have? Someone wanted me to take a look at IBM. And again, you can email me at path@tfnn.com, or you can call me at 877-927-6648. We're at 2723 on the S&P cash, which is off 66 points. Okay. I'm just looking at a handful out here to see anything exciting going on. Okay. I want to look at here. Someone wants me to look at 3D Systems. This thing got whacked on earnings last time. Maybe this thing has started to base out. It's $12 continues to look like very nice support. Certainly in a day where you could throw the baby out with the bathwater, virtually no volume compared to this blowout down that had 18.5 million shares back on the 31st of October. Today we have a little under 700,000 shares. So light volume tests of these. Again, I'm not looking to buy these in the next couple of days. But if these stocks hold all the way through light volume into the first of the year, these are the ones where you can start to look. The pattern, other than the huge volume down, actually came back on fairly lighter volume. And this may be one of these stocks that can go from 11 to 21 bucks many times on its way of beating out a long-term bottom. But I think I still kind of like the future of these 3D printing companies, but a long road to go for those. What else do we have? Yesterday, someone asked me to follow up on natural gas stocks. I didn't like a pipeline stock. They wanted to know what I was talking about in these natural gas liquefaction transport companies. Basically, they liquefy natural gas, put it in their giant tankers, and take it around the world. This apparently is going to be a huge business, with everybody fighting from Qatar to Australia to the U.S. to export a lot of natural gas. Here in the United States, we just burn a great deal of it in the oil fields because we have no way to get it to market, or it's too expensive to get it to market. As long as natural gas continues to kind of stay fairly low, this could be a fairly decent business. Now you've got some fairly decent volume on the way up. Today, or yesterday, you were up on 1.8 million shares. Today, you just have 800,000 shares on the way down. Let's take a quick look at UNG. This one's had its full bull rally, up a little bit today. I don't know if you can say anything. Talk about a big pendant formation coming out of this. That would be extremely interesting. Another question to look at gold and see if I see anything out here. Is this thing finally broken out? Well, you certainly in the GLD are testing the previous highs, and that's the October 26th high that had 27 million shares. So far today, 4 million shares. So what are you saying? Energy is about the same as the way up on the way down. But certainly, if you had the idea that everybody was rushing into the GLD today, not much in the way of those people. And that's not uncommon. We'll talk about that when we come back. When the market's in disarray, people say that they'll do one thing. They tend to do another. We'll be back in a minute.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today. No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And dollar index is at 96.90. So, after a pretty big rocket sled ride out there, not much happening. As we look at the volume in the markets, we're at about 5.5 billion shares. When we came in with, what, 8 point something yesterday. I'll look that up during the next break. Right now, the volume isn't really blowing me away. Now, maybe that all comes in the last 30 minutes of the day, and we find out. But just looks to me like we had a fairly decent route of the market where a lot of people either wanted to get out or they thought that there was a good opportunity to roil the markets so that they could get out of their short positions that they'd been in. Don't think that everything in fund buying was over yesterday in a single day. I do think that there's more money to come in. And my guess is that if it doesn't come in the very late part of the day, it will probably come in on Thursday. And that's where probably the proof of the pudding is going to be. Although I still suspect that we're going to slowly edge our way up into the end of the year. Someone wanted me to look at Apple. So we'll do that fairly quickly. Certainly, you've had a bounce in Apple. A close below 175 says that you probably retest the 170.26 low of November 26th. My guess is that most of that selling is over. The volume probably going to be about what it was yesterday, maybe a little lower. Certainly going to be about to come in what it was on the 30th. And on the 29th, they're all around 40 million shares. You're going back into a candle that actually came up on 46 million shares. You're at 27 million shares. And you're going to be light, you are, but you're not going to be 50% light. So I'm not projecting any kind of huge move out here, but we'll keep an eye on it. What did I want to look at? UA or UAA? Both of these are the same. Under Armour finally got back up to $23 yesterday. That was up against a 4.6 million share high on June 29th. You got into it by 4.2 million shares. So pretty much the end of, I think, a lot of those retail stocks going higher, or at least in the short term. They may hang around these levels. Trimble, I haven't looked at this one for a little while. Trimble Navigation got back up into its $39.68 high from November 2nd. Did so with that day with let's call it 2.4 million shares. Spiked it yesterday with 1.5 million shares. Now this one had a fairly decent reversal, but again, we're coming back down. But it's more like a souffle falling. There isn't the kind of volume that you would suspect. 1.56 million shares yesterday to just 400,000 shares today. So again, fairly light volume in a lot of these stocks, even though they had some fairly significant moves. And trying to remember what this one is. TRHC. This one looks like it's Tabula Healthcare. looks like a fairly nice trend line coming down from the September 5th high, getting back into that with very light volume. The last high at $80 had 735,000 shares, 274,000 yesterday, and kind of a little bit of a reversal signal here. Certainly lighter energy on the way back up to that high. I don't know a lot about this company, so let's go ahead and check it out. But price and volume says that it's a bit iffy. Operates as a healthcare technology company. It offers medication risk management, pharmacy cost management, and Medicare risk adjustment services. The company offers technology-enabled products, services to prescribers, pharmacists, and healthcare organizations. Probably not going to be any good if Amazon does get knee-deep in this business, but you never know. Let's see what else is on my list of stuff. Stocks, we'll look at that one since the SMH, see if there's any kind of divergence in it. The stocks went over yesterday over its previous high of November 8th that had 1.2 million shares with 780,000 shares. You're back into the trading range here today. Now, this one, like I said, the semis have been kind of the weakest of the bunch out here, at least in the short term. You did not have much energy off this November 20th low up into the high yesterday, getting a reverse back in here. Probably not that big a deal. Support probably starts to come in at about 162. So we might even see a little bit more pain in that sector going forward. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is one and done. And the bigger part of any pullback in the stocks might be after the first of the year. Cinex. Again, let's take a quick look at what this company does. This one had a fairly nice test of the low and one of the better looking patterns out here. So I'm going to keep an eye on this one. October 12th came in at 72.83 with 822,000 shares. Retested that by going below and closing back above that low to 71.83 on November 23rd. Energy actually did come off about 30% on the pullback to that low. So you've got a low in place with half the volume. You went back up to the previous high and what, about 150,000 shares short of the high on November 5th. You're pulling back today, but right now, what are we at? With an hour and 10 minutes left, you've got 738,000 shares yesterday, 253,000 shares today. So again, I'm not seeing a lot of people piling into these. Maybe they're short sellers, but certainly if they're long, the energy in a lot of those is not there. See if I take a look at a few more. Check my mail here. Okay. We don't have that much time, so let's go ahead and look through my list of things and see if any stocks out here. MELI. This thing had quite the run. This thing is still not looking all that bad. This is, of course, a payment processing company in South America. Let's go ahead and get the full poop on them. Online commerce platforms, kind of a Amazon for Latin America, offers Mercado Libre marketplace, automated online commerce service for business individuals to list items, kind of an eBay too, and kind of an Amazon, from what I remember. This one's been bouncing against this 370 level for a few times. Slightly went over it yesterday to 374. Got a little reversal back in here. Again, I mean, you had 800,000 shares yesterday, and about 500,000 shares yesterday. But again, that's going up against a 1.3 million share high on November 2nd. So it looks like right now, kind of a bigger trading range for a lot of these stocks. Certainly, I haven't run across more than a handful that today actually blows them apart or anything. We'll look back at a few more in the final segment. And just a kindly reminder to check out Basil's webinar tonight.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
I had a question come in. Was there anything out here to really signal that there was a huge move coming in the financial sector? And I was going to say, you know, when I looked at it, you actually had, you know, you did close below the previous low in the FAS, which is the Financial Bull 3X shares. He had 1.34 million shares yesterday compared to 1.2 million shares back on November 8th when it hit 65.95. So you didn't have much there. You didn't have much on the way down. On the way up, energy is about the same. So you could probably make a case that you're back into the trading range. And again, the candle today, why not great, didn't break a previous low. And volume is going to probably come in back at what the major low was on October 26. So I don't think you can make anything, a long-term prediction out of this. Short-term prediction, of course, is everybody yelled boo collectively at once at noon today. And we're probably going to find out more about the actual cause on it. I think it was a little over-engineered with some of the news. And again, a lot of the news feeds these days are triggered by high-frequency traders. Read headline, announcements. And if they all read it the same way, it doesn't matter whether it's bullish or bearish. They just get to selling or buying. But I didn't see a lot going into last night other than the fact that the risk had been going higher. As I said on Friday, I was selling one of my positions into Monday just because I thought that the risk profiles were going up as we went higher. It didn't go, it wasn't a losing trade, but it was just kind of too close, so I let it go. But everything else looks fairly good. Just keeping an eye on what we have out here for my subscribers. But no big deal in any of my positions today. Keep an eye on it. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. And we will see you Thursday, not tomorrow. Back here again.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.